Okay, great, let's go. Hey, what's up? I'm Bexy. Today we're gonna dig into the world of remixing. I remember the first time I was asked to do an official remix, I was super excited but also a bit overwhelmed. I didn't quite know where to start or how to approach it. I've since gone on to remix artists like LPGOB, Genix, Young Bombs, Nervo, and lots more. So I wanted to share what I've learned remixing other artists and how I approach it. Let's dig in. Number 1. Understanding the original track. The first step to remixing is understanding the track that I'm remixing. I like to listen to the track and analyze its key parts. I typically only listen to it once or twice because I don't want it to influence my remix too much. I just want to get an idea of the original track, what are the core elements, and what can I use to inspire my remix. I also want to make sure that mine doesn't sound too similar, especially if it's in the same genre. Number 2, developing your remix strategy. Alright, now that we've listened to the original track, it's time to figure out what direction we're going to take this remix in. Do you want to remix it in a completely different genre? Or perhaps maybe you just want to take snippets of the vocal or use the main lead sound. For the remix I did for Nervo, the original is a piano house track. Typically, I like to use a lot of pianos in tracks, but since the original already has pianos in it, I decided to take it in a different direction with a more progressive, high energy feel with a rolling bass line. You can hear how I captured the essence of the track using the vocals, but it now has a completely different sound to it. Number 3, reference tracks. Alright, now that we've figured out the direction we're gonna go in with the remix, now let's find some reference tracks that'll fit the vibe that you're going for. For the remix I did for Nervo, I gathered up a couple of reference tracks. One was Acraze featuring Good Boys, Believe. And the other is Camden Cox, Elevated. These tracks both feature a rolling bass line, which I knew I wanted to do in my remix, and they also just have the same style and vibe that I'm going for. With reference tracks, I usually bring them into my project file, and then I might even mark out a rough arrangement. But a lot of times I'm using these reference tracks to see what elements are in them that I might want to use for my track or what I might be missing from my track. So listening to these reference tracks, I might think, what are the common elements in these tracks? How did they arrange the vocals if there's vocals in them? What sort of sound effects and transition elements did they use? Remember, reference tracks aren't to copy, they're just used as a guide. You still want to inject your own unique style and sound into the track. Before I move on, if you're getting value from this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Number 4, tempo and key. Now let's talk about altering the key or tempo of the original track. This technique can completely transform the mood and energy of the track. You could speed it up for a high energy dance floor banger, or slow it down for a little bit more of a chill vibe. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can change the key of the track to give it a completely different feel. For my Nervo remix, I didn't change the key or the tempo. I wanted to keep it in the same tempo because I also make house music, so I believe it was at 126. And I wanted to keep the key the same because, well, I just liked the key that it was in and I didn't really want to change that vibe too much. But if I was just using, say, a small snippet of the vocal or just a hook, it might be interesting to pitch the vocals into a different key. Number 5, adding your own unique sound. Remixing is about infusing your creativity, but it's equally important to honor the artist's original intentions with the track. Find that delicate balance where your creativity shines through while staying true to the original essence of the track. For me, typically it's using the original vocals and then creating a whole new track around it. I'll also use saved audio effect racks so I can inject my own personal sound into it. For example, this audio effect rack that I use from a preset that I found on Splice, it's a Steve Aoki pad serum preset. I use this pad in a lot of my tracks. It's got that super wide saw sound, and then I'll throw an auto filter on it to then slowly bring the pad in. So I hope you enjoyed this video where I shared some tips on how I approach a remix, and hopefully it'll help you with a remix that you might be working on. Thanks for watching. Want more tips on how to improve your production? Watch this video.